Hi Aquarius, the Awakened Dreamer here, as I struggle to begin this video. Thank you so much for joining me as we begin your mid-month money and career tarot reading for the month of January 2022. Thank you so much for joining me once again. And I did receive an overall message for you for this reading, but keep in mind this is a general mid-month reading, so just take what resonates and don't stress over what doesn't, all right? The message I received for you, Aquarius, is or was an extreme increase in success, an extreme increase of success. All right, so let's aim on down and pull some cards. Alrighty, we're going to begin by pulling a couple messages or a message, whatever we get, from the Small Moonology deck. And then we'll pull the main part of the reading from the Light Seers Tarot deck. For my lovely Aquarians to begin this mid-month money and career read for January 2022. For Aquarius, we've got one, balance spirituality and practicality. So I really feel as if the overall focus for the second half of the month for you is to balance things out for yourself. On one end, you know, this can talk about spirituality and practicality, sure, but this is now for you specifically coming through as balancing out your energy levels, right? Balancing out your efforts, what you're putting your resources towards. Feeling like there is a fiery climax that is approaching on the near horizon, but yeah, it just feels like you have a lot of energy coming about you in the second half of the month. For some of you, in the whole month in general, including the first half, you could find that you're just very motivated to achieve what you need to, feeling quite a need to just keep going. You know, you could find there's a level of pressure in the air, and therefore needing to balance things out for yourself, whether it's meditating, using essential oils, just needing to think about how you best produce your work, you know, needing to also not stress yourself out over your finances, remembering and being reminded that confidence is truly the key to your success in a multitude of forms, okay? But also I just feel like you need to balance out where you're putting your energy towards when it comes to the areas of your life. You might be overworking yourself at this time to the point where you're neglecting other areas of your life, like your friends, your family, your love life, your home life, stuff like that. So just something to keep in mind in the second half of the month. So like I said, we're going to pull 6 cards from the Light Seers deck. The first 3 cards, the first half of the spread, will speak upon the 3rd week of your month, and then, or thereabout, and then the second half of the spread, as I struggle to speak, will be for the 4th week, okay? Keep in mind, energy is fluid. I did just see the Sun card, oddly enough, a sliver of it when shuffling. There's a focus on your happiness and completion throughout this part of your January. Okay, we got one coming out. What else we have for Aquarius? I'm being told to mention, especially if you're empathic, even if you're not, you're going to be very affected by energies in the second half of the month, potentially making you a bit shaky or a bit on edge. Or you could find you're picking up a sense of stomach ache. You know, you could be feeling a bit sick in your stomach at certain points. You could just be affected by the energy, or you could just feel as if you're not paying attention to your self-care enough for one reason or another. But there's an underlying focus on what lights you up, what makes you feel passionate, what you're moving towards at this time, but also a underlying focus on things falling into place for you, a push to celebrate more so. You may find a push in the second half of the month to just get together with a friend or 2, or 3 just to celebrate, to let loose, to have that release, to catch up, all right? We're beginning the second half of the month in spread with the World. So you begin this second half of the month, the 3rd week, and there's a reminder your world is changing. Again, remember I mentioned the Sun card, and this also can speak upon completion with this circle here. But you're going to find that you're elevating in a lot of ways. You're just sort of happy, content, and a little bit unsatisfied for whatever reason. You know, you could find that your work isn't fully fulfilling, or you just feel as if something's missing, okay? There's a push to remember in the second half of the month that you are going to love your situation moving forward, even if that entails making certain changes and adjustments that are necessary. But you're also being reminded that your world is just kind of being shifted in a lot of ways, or thrown up and shuffled and just kind of um, remade in one way, shape, or form. You could find that the company you're working for is changing a lot in the second half of the month and moving forward, or your business is just taking a sort of churn in a different direction, or certain adjustments are being made. Either way, trust that there is a fiery climax approaching once again, but everything's happening for a reason, okay? For the better of your situation, or a push to just reroute yourself towards something healthier, or just better for you and who you're becoming moving forward, okay? The Seven of Swords. So you make your way to the middle of the third week and you're feeling quite secretive. You could find that people around you are very sketchy, or just kind of making you feel as if you can't trust everybody in your midst. And that's a purposeful feeling that's coming about you. Trust your intuition when that pops up. There's somebody in your midst, I want to label them a rat or a snake, or just somebody that wouldn't have your back, even if they were given the opportunity. You may find that you're very much in the spotlight at this point in the month. They're drawing me back to the overall message of an extreme increase of success. And so it's like this feeling that as soon as you start to see your world changing, things changing, an immense amount of success coming in, almost extreme, once again, where it just things turn right for you for the better. You could see your business starting to take off, to take flight. You could find that people notice you on social media. You could see that your job just feels a lot easier in the sense that you're producing, you're developing, you're creating, and people are just digesting what you're saying. If you're in customer service, you're very, very effective, and people being impressed but a bit envious, and it leaving you in the spotlight to a certain extent, even if you don't desire it. You'll see a lot of feathers, a lot of synchronicities. I heard 2077, look up the angel number meaning, but either way, you're going to find that you might, on one end, again, people just being a bit nosy, or just noticing you a lot of ways, and you just feeling like you need to keep to yourself to a certain extent, or not update people to keep things more simplistic. It is a level of frustration at this point in the month due to the energies you're dealing with, or it could be a noisy work environment or a living situation, all right? Enjoy the spotlight. It's to the best of your ability, even if you're getting certain attention or finding that people are kind of side-eyeing you. It's like, don't judge, right? I can judge you right back. But either way, it just feels like you're succeeding this month, at the very least in the second half, and people can just relax, to say the least, okay? Knight of Pentacles to wrap up the third week, and things are moving a bit slowly, okay? It's the overall feeling. Let's clarify this one. Four of Wands again. That's 2 4s, number 44 coming out as well. A consistent reminder throughout the second half of January that your world is changing, that things are falling into place, and you should be celebrating along the way, enjoying the path to success, okay? Page of Pentacles. And so there's this financial investment you desire, or a new fresh start that you want, whether it's a new job, a new level of advancement within your career or your business, and it's happening quite slowly. It's almost as if you find that your success is coming in, but then your money is moving a bit slowly as far as intake goes to wrap up the third week, okay? You could find that you want to invest in something like an apartment, a house, a move of residence, again, a car, something of the sort, and the pace of approaching that or achieving that is moving quite slowly. But you're reminded to balance things out when things feel a bit slow, or you find that something's progressing slowly at this point while something else is speeding up, right? You may feel like things are just a bit unbalanced, out of whack, or just not very grounded. And so just do what you can to feel good about what's happening, even if the pace of things, as divine as it is, isn't perfect for you, okay? Everything happens when it's meant to, and you're reminded that you're still blossoming, as an individual, while those around you are doing the same, even if they frustrate you from time to time. But also just a reminder that your business, your project, your job, your career as a whole is still blossoming. So have patience with the process and the progression of which, okay? Because again, it is a second half of the month where you're succeeding, but you may just want things, it's like you get a taste of things moving quickly, feeling like things are sort of lifting off the ground, and then you want that pace to continue or to happen with your money or just what you want to invest in. Everything happens when it's meant to. Just trust the process. The Eight of Swords. So you begin the last week of the month and you find yourself doing an immense amount of reflecting. They're now putting a focus, and they will for you on at this point in the month, on a situation that leaves you feeling restricted, that leaves you feeling very tied down, or just it's not perfect. Whether this is a living situation, I just heard it is. It could be a job, related to your situation, to your own individual life. It's leaving you doing an immense amount of reflecting on yourself, asking yourself, am I making the situation worse? I just heard watch Taurus's reading. Um, am I sort of partly to blame for why this isn't healthy? You might find that there's certain improvements you can make as an individual moving forward, but it's like it's purposeful that you're pushed to reflect on oneself, your life outside of that situation, even within, to improve, right? That push to reflect and move towards a healthier lifestyle, to sort of not make maybe similar small mistakes moving forward, but also it just feels like there's a lot outside of you you can't control, including other people, that situation once again. It's just factors that you need to sort of just cope with, and deal with the situation until it's replaced. It could definitely be the Page of Pentacles that we were speaking upon, wanting to replace that situation. As I'm pushed to move my leg up and down, in an anxious way, do be aware of that if that's a habit of yours. You may be intuitively picking up on somebody's negative intentions. Didn't mean to say that, but absolutely true. You could definitely be empathically picking up on other people's energies or frustrations, or just the energy in the air is leaving you a bit on edge. Just again, try to ground yourself. People should not get the best of Aquarius, to say the least, because you're in the midst of achieving a lot, succeeding a lot, and the universe and spirit, it drew you to this reading, pushed you to this reading to prevent certain outside factors and difficulties, envious people, people who just are kind of low vibrational, from getting the best of you, or just kind of stepping in your way, or creating blockages between you and everything else that's coming your way. I just heard I'm picking this up for a reason, and I feel like you're picking up a new hobby and re-picking up a past skill set. Somebody's drawing again, or creating art. There's something you're being pushed to do in your free time, or just that sliver of time you give yourself, um, to have fun, to have a release, to feel more creative, to enjoy yourself, to remind yourself of how multidimensional you are, multifaceted. It just feels like it reminds you of how much you're changing. While I feel like certain Aquariuses are becoming re in touch with who you truly are, if you feel like you kind of lost that along the way, all the meanwhile you're being reminded you're still changing, you're still growing, your life is changing, regardless of this limiting situation. So it's like that reconnecting with who you truly are on a soul level, while going with the flow, allowing that to sort of continue to develop. Wow, that's powerful. Anyway, so the Hanged Man, I find it very easy to just be like, okay, nicely said, beautiful, moving on. Check, 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 got this done, moving on. I heard even in conversations, you're like, beautiful, even if I kind of liked what you had to say, you gotta keep it moving, right? On to the next, or on to my alone time. Anyways, moving on to the middle of the last week of the month, we have the Hanged Man. And there's this feeling that you're shining in the midst of restrictions, limitations, or just feeling as if people are noticing you for your stubbornness. Interesting. Please don't take that offensively. I get it. I do have Aquarius in my chart, but I do feel like you are thinking about your life purpose. For one reason or another, there's an adjustment in perspective that is pushed from the universe. Being reminded that the ball's in your court, as you can see these kind of sphere motion that I'm doing with my hands. Anyways, you're reminded of how intelligent you are, how unique you are, and how much that's going to play into your life purpose. Your North Node is going to be quite relevant moving forward. That is where I have Aquarius. Interesting. Anyways, so it just feels like people are noticing you as well, for how quickly you can go from feeling stubborn, or just feeling kind of set in your ways, to adjusting things or going with the flow, or how quickly you sort of change your mind about this and that, or how quickly you can start a situation and then separate yourself from it. It's because there's one thing you've been working towards, or just greater life purpose you've become more in touch with recently. And it's like when you start something else that isn't aligned with your once was, but isn't anymore, it's hard for you to stick with it. And you know what I mean? It's like you just are very much in touch with who you're meant to be, what you're meant to achieve moving forward, even if it's not that full perspective, that full in touch feeling. Interesting. It could be a confusing part of the week and month, but it's all the meanwhile you're just going through a lot of personal soul and spiritual changes and career changes as well, and people just kind of wanting to know more but you just being secretive. So be it. You're entitled to your secrecy. The Lovers. I also feel as if there is a connection. Interesting. It's not money and career related, but I feel like finances could be related moving forward. But I also feel as if there's a job you plan to take on or something you plan to take on moving forward in the upcoming months, but you don't want to tell people yet because you don't want it to fall through, or something you intuitively know lies ahead. You don't want to overcomplicate it or just kind of jinx it. But so you finish up the month being reminded of somebody who's meant to be with you. You're also reminded to love your work, to continue to love your path, even if certain people are annoying, or even if certain progressions are quite slow. You know, you're pushed to kind of slow things down towards the end of the month, to enjoy connections, to balance out the areas of your life once again, but also to remind yourself why you started something, why you will continue to do it, and why it's meant to be in your life. Feeling like a lot of Aquarians have something that they've been working towards, even if it was just started recently, that is going to go the distance. It's a very long-lasting situation, and you're reminded that somebody you're connecting with soon, if not recently, will also last a while. There's a feeling that you've gone from situation to situation in multiple categories of your life, and now you're getting in touch with certain situations that will just last. And it's a beautiful thing, and it just reminds you to balance yourself out and understand that that in and of itself will give you a sense of comfort, groundedness, and stability. And you won't feel sort of uneasy when it comes to things moving a bit slowly moving forward. Okay, beautiful. But reminding you all the meanwhile as you finish up the month that this is a time in moving forward where you get this extreme increase of success in a multitude of categories of your life, including money and career, where people can be envious at times, but the majority of people are going to be shocked and surprised, and even yourself. Okay, you truly deserve it. Hard work is paying off. So I hope this reading was truly helpful. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. I just saw 1717 on the timestamp. Look up that angel number meaning. If you want to book a personal reading with myself, the information's down below. Just shoot me an email. I hope you have an amazing rest of the month. I know you will, and I'll see you next time. Bye, Aquarius.